Hey everyone, it's Julie. Today we're going to make steak and eggs. Steak and eggs go great together, in case you didn't know. Now you know. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is let your steak sit at room temperature for about 15 minutes before cooking. You don't want to take it from the fridge and throw it on a hot skillet. Also, do not cook steak that's semi-frozen. Just don't do it. All right, you want to season the steak on both sides with kosher salt and pepper. Try to use kosher. Use sea salt if you have that. I would avoid fine salt to season this type of cut. Press down the seasoning a bit. You want to be very generous with the salt and pepper. I personally do not like herbs on my steak or any other type of seasoning. It takes away from the steak, especially if it's an expensive cut. That's just my opinion, but you can definitely use herbs if you'd like. So let's cook this. You want to get your skillet as hot as possible. Don't take a nap while you warm up the skillet, but wait a couple minutes. Then add the oil to the pan and place down the steak. Now pepper. It burns rather quickly, but that's okay because we want the steak to have a nice crust. And if you season your steak and cook it over high heat on a hot skillet, you will get a nice sear on both sides. Sure to sear the sides. The sides are very fatty, but once you sear the sides, that fat will get nice and crispy. So I cook the steak for about 2 minutes on each side. I like my steak medium rare, leaning more towards rare. So this video can be a tad bit controversial, if you will, because everyone likes their steak and eggs cooked differently. When you go to a restaurant, they always ask how you'd like both your steak and your eggs cooked. So I was debating on whether to make this because half of you are going to say yum and the other are going to say yuck. But this is how I like my steak and eggs cooked. Also, it doesn't matter how you like yours cooked. Now you know that steak and eggs go great together regardless how they're cooked. So this part is optional. I like a little butter on my steak. If you don't like butter on your steak, what is wrong with you? No, I'm teasing. I understand. A lot of people like butter on their baked potatoes. I don't. That's because I prefer sour cream, and I want baked potato. A baked potato with sour cream, cheese, and chives, and this steak. Good. All right, so see, steak is a little different from like pancakes and stuff like that. You can flip it as much as you'd like. Not a million times either. You'll overcook it, but I wanted the butter on both sides. That's why I flipped it. Remove it from the heat, and now you want to wrap it with aluminum foil and let it sit while you cook the eggs. I do like my eggs runny, so I always cook them over easy. Make sure you use enough oil. There is nothing worse than your eggs sticking to the pan. You want your eggs floating around the pan. So if you rock the pan back and forth, the eggs should slide around. Now I just flip them for a plate and then remove them from the heat. That's my strategy. Flip them, look for a plate, turn off the heat, and serve. And of course you have to season with salt and pepper. But as soon as you flip them over, if you like them over easy, make sure to turn off the heat because they can overcook really easily. Here's my steak. It released some juices. Perfect. You always want to let your steak rest for a couple minutes after cooking, so it worked out perfectly. I tried this a couple years ago for brunch. Mimosas go great with this. I sprinkled a little parsley just for the picture. And as you can see, there is no recipe for this. Oh, look how cool. That's exactly how I like my eggs. There's no recipe for this. If I told you to go to my website for this recipe, I should be arrested. Everything is to taste. You definitely don't need a recipe for this. So this is exactly how I like my steak and eggs. If I gave my mother $1 million, she would not eat this. She likes her eggs extremely over hard. I like them like this. Even better, dip some bread in the yolk and you'll be in heaven. No? Hagen? Okay. You'll be in heaven. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you give this a try. It was delicious. And I want to thank you all so much for watching.